Hi, I'm Andy Pitts. Welcome to Saturday in the Shop, where we talk woodworking and I try to answer some of the questions you've posted on my YouTube channel, Andy Pitts 1000. I'm working a job for a client right now. They bought a coffee table in Germany, and it was an unusual table. It actually has a mechanism that can raise and lower the top with a crank. So this is the the frame that holds the top, and you crank this thing. Oh, parts are falling apart, and you can raise and lower this. So they wanted another table made just like this because this table had some chips and dings in it. Well, you know, I would love to make new furniture, but I just can't bear to ask people to do that, to pay me to do that, if in fact all they really need is a refurbishment. And the only real problem was the trestle that supports the table, and this is one of the legs. This is just particle board with like a contact paper veneer. We decided to go ahead and make new trestle parts, so I've made a nice red oak 1.25 inches thick with a little bit different shape that they wanted, and I got two of these, and we'll be connecting them together with a little shelf. And maybe next week, if it stops snowing, I'll be done with this job, and I can show you what it looks like. This is the top itself, and you can see that this this veneer is in pretty good shape. It's got a tile inlay. The grout lines they're all in pretty good shape. The tile's in good shape. There's a couple of extensions that slide out on the ends to make the top wider, so these extensions fit, you know, under here, and they slide on out. And they're in pretty good shape too. The veneer's pretty good. So I went ahead and sanded this all down carefully. Didn't want to go through the veneer. And then I put a coat of stain on. They picked out the color stain they like, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. Now I still have to do the varnishing, you know, put some finish on there. But I think it's in good shape, and I think I saved them quite a bit of money by just refurbishing. Occasionally somebody asks me where I get some of the tools I have, what they are. I had one question about these drawing bows. This is a drawing bow that's designed to help you draw an arc. I'll go ahead and just demonstrate. This yellow bow is called a symmetrical drawing bow, and you tighten up this strap, and it makes it really handy to develop a drawn curve on a piece before you make a cut. This particular bow comes from Lee Valley. They also make an asymmetrical drawing bow. Now this bow is thicker on one end than it is on the other. So when you tighten this one up, you get an asymmetrical curve. You know, it's much tighter radius curve on the thin end than it is on the thick end. So between these two bows, you know, you can do a lot of layout work with it. They're really handy. I had another question about what kind of clamps I use. Often you see these red clamps in the background on some of my videos, so I thought, well, I'll talk about that for a minute. These particular clamps are called K-body clamps by Bessie, and what I like about them is that the jaws stay parallel as you tighten up the clamp. And I've got these things going anywhere from these like 1-foot clamps up to the really long ones. Another thing is my first clamps from Bessie were just these plastic ends. Now they actually have a wider plastic cap that fits on here, so you get more surface area for the pressure. And another thing I've noticed, some of the clamps come with these little feet that slide along the bar. You can actually remove them. You can set them on there. And with a couple of these feet on your bench, they'll hold the clamp nice and level, even if the ends of the clamp extend beyond your work surface. I often buy these clamps in packages. They'll have 4 clamps to a package for picture framing and so forth, and they'll include this little stand, which is kind of neat. You can actually put the clamp through the stand like this, and it will set up nice and vertical. And on the 90 degree, there's a little stand, but it keeps the clamp higher. So you notice that clamp's high, that clamp's low. And that way, if you're doing something like a picture frame, you can cross these clamps and they don't interfere with each other. It's pretty cool. Another thing, sometimes when I'm doing a really long clamp up, I'll use these extenders. On the K-body, you can actually remove the end of this, slide it on in just like that, get the hole lined up, stick your bolt back through, put the nut on it. You do the same thing on the other end. Slide that on in, and now you've got an extended clamp that you can tighten up. So it's pretty cool. You can make a clamping setup that's 8 feet long, no problem. Here in Virginia, we have an organization called the Artisan Center of Virginia, and it's the Virginia's official state center of craft. ACV has been around a number of years, but in the last 5, 6, 7 years, we have artisan trails throughout the state. And what's an artisan trail? Well, it's like a wine trail you've maybe been on in other parts of the country. There's a map that gets produced. This one's for the Monticello Artisan Trail out in Albemarle and Nelson County. And there's a map produced, and it has locations that correspond to this listing here. And you can go see workshops like mine, artist studios, craft-related venues, which might be museums or galleries, things like that. Supporting sites, which might be B&Bs, restaurants where you can eat and stay. And you could really spend like a weekend doing an artisan trail, staying at the places on the trail, and it's really cool. The back of the brochure, a lot of pictures and so forth, and this is a way to get people into our workshops and so forth. So it's really neat. Right now there's a number of trails. I have like 5 different trail brochures here, and we're starting up one here in the Northern Neck right now. In a year or so, maybe less, I'll be able to hold up one of these for our artisan trail in the Northern Neck. When you're on the Artisan Trails as a trail site, you get this little sign. So I've got this sign posted, and folks can know that I'm a trail site that they can come and visit. That's the whole idea. You can come and see my workshop. So you can come and see my workshop too. If you want to learn more about the Artisan Center of Virginia and how the Artisan Trails work, there's a website. It's artisancenterofvirginia.org. And there's a ton of information on there. Okay, well, that's all for today. I appreciate you watching, and please share this with folks you know. Let's spread the love. Thanks.